Oh my god, finally a mime. I just win the game now, right? I just win the game.
What the? Have you not heard of knocking? How did you even find me? Ugh. What do you want? Dude, forever, dude. I'm trying to play Pandora. What? What is it? Show me. Oh, that. Yeah, what about it? What? It's the holidays. I'm just treating myself out to some Balatro. You want to see? Fine, I'll show you what I've been working on. But after, I get to talk to you about my Balatro build. Here, knock yourself out, man. Oh, shit. Oh, wrong side. Oh. I love games that are unique. Games that aren't afraid to be different. More specifically, asymmetrical games. Or games that take advantage of their perks.
Don't look at. Come here! Oh, you motherfuckers!
I also love games with a high focus on stealth from games like Assassin's Creed. Oh no, shit! Wrong clip. Come on, change. Come on. And Splinter Cell. Yeah. All the way to horror. What the? To horror, whether that's goofy horror from Friday the 13th, Last Trials, or serious horror like Resident Evil.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Sometimes.
Whoa!
Get out. Okay. Asshole. Oh my god. Look at the mess they made, dude. Whatever. This place looked like shit anyways. As I was saying, what happens when you sprinkle a little bit of asymmetrical on top of this stealthiness and goofy mashup? Well, you get games like Shit by Daylight, where it's more stressful and scarier to be the killer. Yeah, I'm gonna go kill myself. This game, along with the recent lackluster releases, have made the unique asymmetrical scale dip. But these next games I'm gonna be talking about completely outweigh that filth, that garbage. Disgrace, you know what? Burn it all! This guy right here is my favorite Splinter Cell game. Probably because I haven't actually played any other Splinter Cell game, but Splinter Cell Blacklist has a unique card up its sleeve. Spies vs. Mercs is a game mode where you have big boys that bring big guns going head to head, or head to darkness I should say, with the spies. Skinny boys that bring parkour stealth and gadgets to the mix. On the surface, this is just a shooter where you have two sides competing to destroy or defend objectives or to reach a kill limit first. Each side having their own mechanics, but in reality, this is two games in one. The Mercs are heavy, slow, limited in their arsenal and traversal. They play in the first person perspective, but they are deadly. If you catch a spy off guard or outpositioned, they're a goner. Your weapons have an incredibly fast time to kill, your grenades pack a punch, and if a spy were to face you head on, they would be no match. The spies are fragile but nimble, and they play in the third person perspective, which gives them an advantage. If you play your cards, aka your arsenal of gadgets right, and use the darkness and your environment to your advantage, you'll become a thin force to be reckoned with. A single spy can pick off an entire team of mercs one by one before they even know it hit them. You can main one side in this game and still have so much to learn, and when you're finally satisfied with the one-hit assassinations from behind, you can then spend another dozen hours learning how to flush out and outmaneuver the spies. The two sides are so dynamic, but the gameplay between the two sides fits perfectly together like a PB&J sandwich.
Nom nom nom. Okay.
With each side essentially being their own games, with their own techniques, strategies, combos, and map knowledge all waiting to be mastered. This mode reminds me a lot of the Predator Hunting Grounds, because they both have the same mental anguish the soldier side of the gameplay has.
I got your back. Yeah, I got your back. Commander, I need some help over here. My squad's down.
Look at them little goofballs, huh? Panicking, huh? Little nerds, huh? Just knowing that my sheer presence haunts these idiots brings me so much joy. Whoa!
Huh?
One of the more simple yet effective ways to show a difference in power is by having a difference in size and sheer strength. And by taking advantage of the freedom of VR, it can make for some really interesting gameplay mechanics. Davigo is a game where the player in the headset is a giant. He can tear trees and parts of buildings from the map to use as throwable objects, or maybe use as a sword if you're feeling creative.
Where the fuck did you go? Oh my god, my head.
He can slam the earth to create shockwaves or little pieces of debris as more ammunition. If you feel like being an asshole to your friends, you can grab them and spank the shit out of them.
Let daddy teach you a lesson or two. Huh? You like that? Huh? You like that?
The players on the flat screen, on the other hand, tell me that this game was heavily inspired from Attack on Titan. You can dash around with a jetpack and fling around the map, or even fling off the giant's head with a grapple. You can parry, dodge, block, and use rockets to whittle down your big foe. I did it to you.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Again, the two sides in Devigo are completely different experiences. The little guys are using the environment to break line of sight, running around for pickups and scattering so they don't get smashed all at once, taking advantage of their teammates' distractions to get easy hits, and sitting on top of the giant's head to confuse the shit out of him.
Dude, I don't know where this fucking guy is. Get away from me. What the?
The giant, on the other hand, is fucking...
Get away from me.
I tried going back. No!
Ooh! 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 Dude, I'm gonna pass out. After 2 rounds, your room's gonna look like a tsunami ran through it with the amount of sweat and property damage that's bound to happen. Immersion really makes you forget that you have a whole PC set up 5 feet away from you.
Oh shit, I'm tweaking, bro.
For those of you who own homes out there, which is probably 3% of the people watching, this next topic may trigger some fears or possibly even some past trauma if you've dealt with this unfortunate experience in your life. Home invasions. Some games have dabbled in ways to make home invasions fun. Dying Light, Deathloop, Resident Evil shit, Sniper Elite. Dark Souls was the first series to sort of kick off this mechanic, and it's obviously done well, as every single other Souls game has an invasion mode. Oh no, so you weren't invited, sorry.
Are they just like letting loose die?
Thank you, Dark Souls.
As you know, Dark Souls is a game, a difficult game, and if you dislike the series or genre, then you're a fucking pussy, and hitting Dark Souls is equal to a felony, so you deserve the death penalty. The thing that makes Dark Souls Invasion so unique is that it's a forced mechanic if you use another mechanic. Mechanismception. If you want to make this game's difficulty a bit easier on your soul by inviting randoms or your friends to join you, you have the possibility of getting invaded. Consequences of actions. Wait, actions have consequences. There we go. If your action is to make the game easier and use the co-op mechanic, not as intended, quote unquote, then you get punished by having the game balance what should be a solo experience into a PvP experience. And if you disobey this, then you're forced into having this possibility to get invaded. I love the way this invasion mechanic was designed in almost every way. It makes sense. There's so many locations, builds, and RNG that can influence the way invasions go. And honestly, I think this should be a mechanic in more games, as it just adds more content. As long as it's an option that can be disabled, then I don't see any harm in having this in almost every game. Dying Light allowed you to invade other players' lobbies as the Night Hunter, and attempt to kill the survivors while defending your nests. The Hunter is incredibly mobile, allowing you to sprint, super jump, and grapple around the map at extreme speeds to reposition and outmaneuver the survivors. The survivors have to travel to each of your nests and destroy them all before they run out of lives. Looking back at this game mode, I'm realizing that I really took it for granted. I'm not saying it's balanced, because it could be a shit show on both ends. But for a simple invasion mechanic, it was pretty thought out for the most part. The execution just wasn't there. The Night Hunter has an entire skill tree to unlock for new abilities, and there's a lot of mind games and ways to output the UV lights and flares the survivors have. You can spit on them to disable their lights. If you're getting absolutely fucking blinded by the survivors, you can slam the ground to stagger the survivors and make a getaway. You can use sprint tackles to knock survivors off of buildings and into spikes. If you can pounce an unaware survivor without getting hit by the UV light, it's an instant kill. If you're a survivor, you can... That's basically it. Deathloop is a game created by the developers of Dishonored. I personally don't know which game I prefer, but let's not talk about that. The main character has a rival, a hunter named Juliana, who's trying to stop you from breaking the loop. The death loop. Get it? Because you're in a death loop in the game. Fuck you. And other players can control her to stop your progress. Again, this game has all the highs and lows of Dying Light, where there's equipment and items to unlock as Juliana and multiple ways to play, but at the end of the day, it didn't fly off the shelves. Most matches look like a ring around the rosy, spam one button till you can get a one-hit kill session over and over. Seriously, how did this get overlooked? I had fun with a few times I played it, but my PC at the time couldn't even handle the base game, so trying to invade other players while constantly playing FNAF with my PC, making sure that it doesn't fucking explode, was not the best experience. Seriously, why are games so hard to run? Marvel Rival, half my friends can't play you because they need 16 gigs minimum for this game. Like, all these games are sadly dead, but one game that's still alive and has seen all these other games' whole entire life cycles. One game that might be older than some of you watching right now. My favorite game ever created, and is at the top of my asymmetrical multiplayer tier list. A literal masterpiece. I cannot glaze this game enough. This is the best co-op zombie shooter ever created. This is the pinnacle of co-op, whether you're slicing tongues and popping boomers, or doing the tonguing and popping. Each map has been finely crafted with verses in mind, and every simple mechanic of clicking has so many layers and layers that once you think you've picked every layer of this cake clean, you'll look over and see 15 more cakes with each of their own finely crafted layers. And I can't even taste them. I'm a fucking skeleton. Yep, that's the video. But let's talk about the cool stuff, right? Get the fuck out of here. So, Balacha, right? You're playing poker, but you're not. So I have a king build, right? So the king build, oh, that's my neighbor Stan. Ah, he's not gonna, don't worry about Stan. He's chill. So anyways, the king build, right? It's a build that flourishes with just a few jokers. Oh, Stan, you wanna learn too? Oh, Stan, put that away. Stan, what are you doing with that? Stan.